Yo, what's good, guys? It's really been a while since I uploaded a video, and today I'm gonna be doing a deck profile on my favorite deck in the whole entire Vanguard for standard, which is Drajeweled Ignis. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Now, I've been playing Drajeweled Ignis ever since it came out, which was September 2023, and this was the only deck in my whole entire Vanguard career that I actually took competitively. But yeah, I haven't really been active because I've just been very busy with my personal life. But yeah, this is the latest version of it for Drajeweled. And yeah, like this deck, I just really love this deck. It's my main deck in the whole entire standard. And I just mainly love like both the unit and also the character that pilots it, which is Hazama Michiru. And yeah, that's a little bit of background about me with this deck. And so yeah, let's get straight into the deck list. So for the ride line, it's pretty simple. Just these 4 cards over here that came out like 3 years ago, and yeah, it's never changed ever since then. I hope we get a new ride line in the upcoming booster, which is should be set 10. Yeah, like because we're getting a new Vanguard, which is Drajeweled Magnus, and I just really hope that there's a new ride line because Youthbro got a new ride line, so why not Drajeweled, right? You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that's pretty much it. And for the grade 4s, and of course it's just my main boy, Drajeweled Ignis. Being able to drop your opponent's power to 0 for the whole entire front row is really crazy. And not only does it drop all of my opponent's front row units to 0 power, it also retires the back row. So yeah, this card doesn't even target, so if your opponent has some form of protection at the back row, it doesn't even matter because it just retires the whole back row. And also it self-filters as well with his ability. Just straight up puts 2 cards from your drop zone into the soul at the beginning of the combat. And if you have 4 more cards in the soul, your whole front row just gets 15k power. And also every single Drajeweled card in the deck is treated as grade 0 to grade 4s, and even if you have like several copies of Drajeweled Ignis in your soul, you can just soul blast it as though you're soul blasting the remaining grades in your soul. And so yeah, like this card is honestly really crazy, and yeah, that's the reason why this Vanguard is my favorite Vanguard of all time. And for the grade 3s, I only run 4 copies of Nocturugio. I don't run Risto Galer because I don't think that card is as good as I think it is. And yeah, like I feel like Nocturugio is a staple. It has to be a 4 in the deck. And unfortunately for Bushiroad, they did not reprint this into the master deck for Drajeweled, which is a very, very big bummer, as this card is a staple in the deck. It kind of low-key does not function that properly if this card is on the deck, because not only is it a shield outlet for the deck, it's a 15k shield if you have a Drajeweled Ignis in your hand or as the Vanguard. It also draws you a card and puts 2 cards into the soul. And on top of that, if you discard this card when you ride into the grade 3, you can basically draw a card. So yeah, that's why I feel like this card is definitely an absolute staple in the Ignis deck, and it's still kind of sad that Bushiroad did not reprint this in the master deck. Still very salty about that. So moving on to the grade 2s, which I run quite a lot of in my deck. I run 4 copies of the latest support Lito Sagur. This card is essentially a power craft version of the main board Rock Sagur itself. And what it does is when it's on place, you pay 3 energy, you can just draw a card, but your Vanguard has to be a Drajeweled. And its other ability is it gets 10k power if you are attacking a grade 3. And its other ability is when this unit attacks, when your Vanguard soul blasts 4 cards or more by counter blasting 1, and you restand. So the past Lockwagur, to get a 10k is the same requirement, but however for the recent requirement, instead of it having your opponent's Vanguard being grade 3, it can just reset as long as you soul blast 4 more cards from your soul. So yeah, this card is a very, very good card in the early game, especially if your opponent gives you quite a lot of CB. And because in the past, like when you do go first and your opponent for some reason, you know, crit sack you, your CB is pretty much just there unless if you want to like use it up on other cards. But now if your opponent kind of has to dial down a bit on their strategy on, you know, being aggressive, because if they do give you sufficient amount of CB, Lito Sagur can practically make a comeback. So therefore, yeah, lately when I've been playing against my opponents, they've not really been giving me more than 2 CB, and honestly 2 CB is more than enough for this deck to work during the first grade 3 turn. And the other grade 2 I run is 4 copies of Zagan. I used to run 3 copies of it, but now I bumped it up to 4 because of Vital Sagur. And the reason why is mainly because of its ability to just call something out from the soul, as long as the called card's grade is lower than your equal or lower to your Vanguard. And also being able to give itself boost is really nice, and just the extra soul charge really does sometimes help a lot. But however, the call ability only procs if you reveal a grade 4 Drajewel in your hand, or if your Vanguard is grade 4 Drajewel itself. And the other grade 2 I run is 4 copies of this card. And yes, people are gonna ask me why do I run 4 copies of this card when I already have Vital Sagur. Is mainly because this card does sometimes come in clutch, and like I said earlier, if my opponent does really rush me early game, I can just use the CB to proc this card's ability, as that extra draw really does come in hand, especially with this deck. It doesn't really draw much in the early game, so therefore having 4 copies of this card really secures that draw. And yeah, I feel really much comfortable when I have like a decent hand size. And the other grade 2 I run is 3 copies of Certain Falcration. I used to only run 2 before, but after playing this deck a lot, I realized running a 3rd copy is quite important, because not only does it put a card from a drop into soul, and it gets 5k for every card that was put into the soul that way. So if you put an Ignis into the soul by a certain focus ability, you're gonna get 20k off from this attacking. And its other ability is straight up draws you a card if your Vanguard is grade 4 or greater, and the requirement of it doing that is literally just put itself in the soul. So not only does it run away into the soul by itself, it also draws me a card, and it also allows me to use Zagan to call her back out if I really have to. So therefore, yeah, I love Certain Falcration a lot. I felt like this card was genuinely made for Drajewel, if I'm really being honest. And last but not least, I run a copy of Lakwagur. And yes, this slot was meant for the Ace unit that we got in the Festival Booster. But however, I still haven't gotten my hands on it because I've been very busy with work. And even though I do want to buy it from online, the stocks are kind of out at the moment. But yeah, this is pretty much it for my grade 2 slots. And for the grade 1s, I run 4 copies of Vampra. So being able to restand another rear guard without, you know, me paying another CB for both Tasagur and Lakwagur is really nice. And not just that, it also can restand any other rear guard. So restanding Certain Falcration is very ideal with this card. But however, there are just some games where you're not going to be able to restand just because you don't have a grade 4 in your hand on your first grade 2 turn, which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. But however, that extra draw is still pretty nice as long as you soul blast 4 more cards with your Drajewel's ability. And yeah, I feel like this card is a really solid card. It just goes in the soul on its own, just draw a card. Just be able to swing for like 5 times as with just 1 CB for the whole entire turn, as long as I have on Drajeweled Ignis. So yeah, therefore yeah, this card overall is a very solid card, and it's definitely a 4 of, never even cutting a single copy of this. And the other great one that I run is the Cat, which either countercharges me 1 or it gives me 20k shield in total. So yeah, like this card, the main reason why I run it is mainly because in some early games I do get pressured a lot, so having some form of ways to sacrifice a little bit of cards in my soul to get that extra 15k shield is really nice as well. And yeah, I just really do not want to be at high damage so early. So therefore yeah, like I couldn't really think of any other cards I could run and that's defensive, so therefore yeah, I chose to run this cat instead. I did like running Bifons back in the time, like before when Vital Sagur was a thing, but when I realized Bifons is quite inconsistent and the card just really hates me, so therefore yeah, I just got really frustrated and I just swapped with the cat instead. And for the other grade ones, 4 PGs and a Elementaria. And for my Regalis piece, it's gonna be Forbidal. I don't really like the latest Regalis piece that we've got in the Master deck list, and the price is pretty expensive on that as well. And unluckily for me, I did not order the Master deck list because I just really don't think I needed to, as I already have an Ignis deck. So why the hell would I want to buy another set of Ignis deck? So yeah, like overall, I still really preferred Forbidal a lot. As I did play tested the Regalis Piece, I didn't really like the card. It's mainly because Forbidal actually searches or it minuses 2 cards to my deck. But that card, it just puts itself in the soul and it calls 1 to 2 cards from your drop zone, which is really nice, honestly. But in my personal opinion, I just prefer Forbidals a lot more, as I'm very comfortable with it. And last but not least, for the triggers, I run 8 crits, 3 draws, 4 heals, and the blue OT. Yeah, I run draws instead of fronts because fronts, they are very nice, but sometimes they come a little bit too late. So I would rather just have draw triggers just to get extra hand. And the main reason why I run the blue OT instead of any other OT is mainly because being able to add anything from my drop zone back to hand, especially my drive check it, is really nice. And it also gives crit pressure as well. I did try running the orange one, however I don't really encourage to run it, is mainly because it is an extra attack, but it's kind of clunky if you drive check it really early, especially like when most of the cards rely on your Vanguard being Drajeweled, so therefore, or grade 3 or greater, which is not really ideal. So therefore I prefer something a bit more stable, more consistent, and so therefore yeah, I generally just love the blue OT to death. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Sorry that if it felt a little bit either too rushed or too short. Yeah, because lately I've just really been very busy, and I'm not gonna lie, I have not really playing that much TCGs lately, as right now I'm not really playing anything at all except for EDH, which is Commander and Magic. And if you guys want to see Magic content in the future, please let me know. For gameplay wise, it's probably going to be like next year, but for discussion wise, I can probably do it within like a few weeks or so. But for yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my videos, and I will definitely come back to Vanguard, that's for sure, because I have to cover my boy Magnus's ability, right? You know, like I'm just a very huge Drajeweled / Michiru fan, so I'm always gonna be very hyped whenever new cards or new supports are gonna come out for the set, for the deck, sorry. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video once again, and I'll see you guys very soon. Don't worry guys, I'll definitely be back. Take care and peace.